I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that all the Imams from his sons are the proofs of Allah. I bear witness that the Mahdi and the Mahdis are the proofs of Allah. Upon this I shall live, upon this I shall die, and upon this I shall be resurrected, inshallah.
We're joined in the studio now with our brother Rizaah, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome to the studio, brother Rizaah. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I'm doing well. I hope everybody that side is doing well.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we're very excited to show your journey to the viewers and show them how it is that you've come to the point where you pledged your allegiance to the Qaim of the family of Muhammad, Al-Sadiq, from him his peace. So let's jump right in. Tell us about your religious background and how it is that you came to this point in your faith.
Okay. My religious background, I was born into a Muslim family. My mother was Muslim and my father was Christian. He actually converted to Islam for my mother, but he wasn't very pious. He wasn't a practicing Muslim, if I can say so. My mother was the one that she was very fervent about the Muslim religion. She was the one that made me go to mosque, made me go to madrasa every day, made me go to khatats and to family gatherings, all these things. She was the one that really instilled the Muslim religion into my life. But after she passed away when I was 13, that kind of fell to the wayside. The practice, all of it felt. It felt as if when she died, that died with her. And my father, not being a practicing Muslim, he wasn't someone who had any kind of understanding of Islam, so he couldn't guide me either. So I kind of fell to the wayside. But in that time, I started getting into reading the Bible. I started reading about Christianity. I started following different paths because I started to rather than, it's not that I gave up on the religion. I gave up on the religious institutions.
Interesting.
And I decided to take the path of the truth seeker, where I would go out and I would look for knowledge, no matter where it came from. Whether it's documentaries, whether it's books, whether it's... I always believe that everything has a seed or a grain of truth to it. And to take that truth and to move forward with that truth and expand on that truth.
Wow. So
when it comes to finding this tower, it actually came from me doom scrolling. When the conflict in Palestine and Israel began, when this whole war began, I knew that there was nothing I could do to help the situation, but I made a conscious decision at that time to watch every piece of video I could find, listen to every piece of knowledge I could see, and to make myself an eyewitness to these events, so that on the day of judgment, when I stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I can at least be a witness for these people suffering.
Wow.
And I tell you that every night, I made myself watch at least 4 or 5 hours of these videos. And at night, I would cry myself to sleep. I would literally have tears rolling down my face, watching the suffering taking place. And I was very close to atheism. Very close to it. I was on the verge of it. Because watching this, seeing this happen, I asked, a question came to my mind is if God exists and God is loving, and God loves us, why all the suffering? Why would he allow the suffering to happen? Why would he allow these people to do what they're doing? And in the midst of all of that, that doom scrolling, that suffering, that anguish, that calling out to God, asking God, God, why? What is this? Why are you allowing this? All of a sudden, in the feed, I got the sermon of clarification. That one exactly. That was the first video I saw of Al-Sadiq, and I looked at this video, and I thought to myself, who is this man? Who is he to claim what he is claiming? And I actually came to the channel not to learn, but to mock. To be honest,
Wow.
that was...
That's an interesting twist in the story now. So you've come to the channel, you find Al-Sadiq. First you say to yourself, God, do you even exist? Look at all the suffering in the world. Then suddenly God brings in front of you this man, Al-Sadiq, from whom is peace. And once you see him in the sermon of clarification, you say to yourself, this can't be true. Let me go there and actually mock it. What happens next?
Yeah. Initially, when I found this dawah, when I found this call, I had been watching videos about the Mahdi on the internet. But a lot of the videos that I saw, they spoke about the son of the Mahdi, but they never spoke about the Mahdi himself. They never focused in on who this person is. Basically, all they showed was the signs that would come before the Mahdi. How we know that the time of the Mahdi is here, but they never expanded on this. They never really delved into who the Mahdi is, what his purpose is, and how he will achieve what he is supposed to achieve. So when I saw Al-Sadiq making this claim, speaking about the will of the Prophet, that's another thing. In all the years that I've been a Muslim, I never once heard from an Imam, a Maulana, a Sheikh, anybody, nobody in the course of my years did I hear about a will. Nobody's spoken, even the people I speak to today, when I raise up the subject of the will, they've never heard this topic before, so it was completely new to me.
Yes.
It did not make any sense to me. So this man making this claim, I felt as if, wait, you, although I'm not religious, although I'm not a pious Muslim, according to them, I'm not a pious Muslim, who is this man to make this claim?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he to actually say these things? And then a little light went on in my head, and this it said to me, look here, instead of sitting here and just stewing in your own sauce, go see what he has to say. Go hear what he has to say. And if at any point, while listening to these words, you find any kind of reason to not believe or to disbelieve in him, turn away. Turn away. Simple as that. But the more I listened, and the more I paid attention to what was being said and how it was being said, the more I couldn't deny, the more I couldn't argue against these things. And the part that really got to me, the part the thing that really drew me into the tower, that really made me say, look here, there's no way I can be against this, is the idea of humanity first.
Wow.
Humanity before religion, humanity before borders, humanity before any ism or schism that you have. Humanity comes first.
Absolutely.
There was this one story. I'm just paraphrasing right here, where the question was asked, like a test on your iman is if you went to your door and you heard a knock at your door, right? And in front of your door, there's a man who's pious, he goes to mosque every day. He does all the rituals that come along with it. You can't point at him and point out any fault in him, right? There's a man like that standing at your door. Then on the other side, you have a non-believer. He's an atheist, and his child are standing at the door in front of you, and they both asking for a glass of water. Right? They both asking for a glass of water. Who would you give the glass to? And my initial response was I would give it to the pious man, because he believes in God, like I believe in God. But then I got the real answer. The answer was, you give it to the child.
Wow.
Before you give it to the righteous man or those believer, you give that glass of water to the child, because that child is innocent. This is a test of your humanity. And the fact that I failed that test really made me look deeper into myself. It made me really look into, do I really put humanity first? Do I really? And then Al-Sadiq started talking about the ego, how you need to fight against the ego. And that for me, because I had never thought of it from a perspective of egotism. But when I looked at it and I thought to myself, wait, is it really my ego? Is my ego the problem? Is it the fact that I will put one man above another just because to my eyes, he deserves it more than someone else. Is that my ego standing in the way? And alhamdulillah, since that day, I humanity first. This is the one thing that I always try to harp on whenever I speak to people about this dawah. How?
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, doesn't matter whether you're Buddhist, Muslim, whatever religion you are, that at the end of the day, you need to put that one side and you need to look at things from a human perspective. Look at it from a perspective where your humanity comes first before anything else.
And it was
I hope
this,
that makes sense.
it was this pivotal moment where you were saying to yourself that this man must be from God.
Yes.
And you went from being
Yes.
someone who saw the religion as a debased religion or an inferior religion or something that is not godly, that you saw it from that
Yes.
point to now this man is actually a messenger of God. Humanity first.
Actually, at first, when I saw this religion first, I didn't think much of it. It's not that I had an opinion either or, because, like I said, I wasn't very religious. The fact of the matter was that there's a little voice in the back of my head that I don't know how to explain it to people, but it's, whenever I don't listen to that voice, I always seem to end up in dire straits. I end up in a situation I don't want to be in, or that is not good, basically. At that moment, that voice was loud. That voice was shouting at me, don't let this pass you by. Do not let this go by without investigating.
SubhanAllah.
I told myself, okay, if that's what you say, then alhamdulillah, let me follow this and let me see where it takes me. And alhamdulillah, to this moment, I'm thankful that I listened to that voice. I'm thankful that I followed that path and didn't allow the shaitan to misguide me.
SubhanAllah. God bless you, brother. That's such a beautiful testimony, and it was your bravery in wanting to explore the unknown that brought you to the truth and helped you find the Imam of your time. And you're living in South Africa.
So my question is, can you tell us about two things? First of all, the what is the religious out view of people in South Africa? What religions are there? What do people usually...
What do they tend to follow in South Africa? Basically?
Exactly. And on the other hand, like, connecting to this question about humanity first, like, what is the problems and the situations that people in South Africa are facing now that this doctrine of humanity first could help, fix?
Okay. To be honest, I have not traveled South Africa that much, so I can't speak for the rest of South Africa, but I can speak for where I live, which is in Mitchell's Plain in South Africa. Anybody wants to Google search on Mitchell's Plain, Cape Town, South Africa, you'll see the area that I live in. It's rife with gang violence. There's drugs and prostitution. Every sinful thing that can be is in this place. And honestly, when it comes to this dawah and that situation, that I've seen people here in Cape Town, here in South Africa, how religious fervor is being not used, but implemented in a way to
Is it to control the people?
Not control, but brainwash, if I can put it that way. It's not anymore about God, about getting closer to God. It's become this form of entertainment.
Interesting.
Like where people go to church on Sunday, it's about the music, it's about the dancing, it's about the singing joyfully. It's become a concept. People go to mosque, and half of the time, half of the people that are listening to the imams or listening to the sheikhs speak in front, they don't understand what's being said. They don't know what is being said, but it's the way the words move you, the way the recitation of the Quran moves people. It's also become this form of entertainment. It's become this way of people, if you know what I mean.
Like an empty shell of religion. There's no life left in it.
There we go. They turned it into this way of mocking people, mocking power, mocking money. It's like it's mocking authority. They've don't you dare try to step out of line. Don't you dare try to think for yourself. Don't you dare come with an opinion of your own, because the moment you step in front of them with an opinion or a mind of your own, oh, you're going to be chastised. You are going to be cast out into the wilderness, and nobody will want anything to do with you.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And then you look at this religion, you look at this call, which you've now become a part of, and it is very different in that sense. It's a very living religion with a messenger who is amongst us, who is preaching solutions to the problems of society. Would you consider this to be very revolutionary then to the place where you're living in?
Oh yes, most definitely. It's not something that people are very quick to adopt. I can put it that way. It's not something that people are willing to quickly take into their belief system, because it goes so contradictory to what they believe. Their God is separate from them. Their God is not someone that they have communication with. I hate to say it, but to me it feels sometimes like their God is dead.
Wow.
He's not a living God. He's a God of the dead. He's not. He's
What a description.
He's preparing you for death. but he's not providing any
Solutions
what can I
to
call it?
life.
Not yes, yes. He's not create. The God is as if he is more concerned about your death than he is about your life.
What a
He,
description. What a chilling description.
you know what I mean?
So
They yes.
we were discussing Africa for a few days now, because as you know, we've got something quite new coming up, and we've been talking about it with our believers around the world, which was our
Yes.
new satellite channel that we're hoping to
Yes.
open, so that we can actually reach all of these places that you're describing and show them that there is an alternative.
From your perspective, and according to the place that you were born in, and in the social context that you were born in, what do you think is a lecture from Al-Sadiq or a video from Al-Sadiq that you would say is something that people from South Africa or from Cape Town have to listen to?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot now. You're putting me on the spot. Which lecture, which specific lecture I would use to. There was one that came out a couple of weeks back. I'm not sure which one it was off the top of my head now, but there was one where Al-Sadiq, he basically he puts it all out there. He talks about how the religion of Islam was usurped by Abu Bakr and his followers, and how he basically packs it all out. I can't
Dark
give it
history
time
of Islam.
Yes, that one. Yes, that video would be the first one I would play for anybody who is interested in knowing what this dawah is about, what it really entails, what it is that we are trying to bring to the world.
Wonderful. And now that we're opening this channel, hopefully there are so many people out there who are going to be able to access that content, because we'll be streaming on the channel all of the content of Al-Sadiq and the teachings of this religion and everything that is to do with this religion, which, as you said, it is not a dead religion, it's a living religion. And that is what we want. We want the world to see that whatever challenges the societies are facing, there is a solution to it, and it is through the living messenger of God, who is Al-Sadiq. So now let's go into that. What do you think would be the impact of this message on the people around you, and how do you think it could possibly open up their eyes?
Well, if these people around me were, if this dawah, how do I put this? If tomorrow morning I woke up, right, and all the things that Al-Sadiq has been talking about are around us, they are being implemented as Al-Sadiq has brought into us. I don't see how anybody would suffer. I don't know how see how anybody would go to bed on an empty stomach. I don't see how anybody would have to be sleeping on the streets. I don't see how anybody would be addicted to drugs or anything. Because the main core of this dawah is, like I said, humanity first. Before anything else. I come back to this every time because for me, it's very important.
Foundation.
It's a foundation, yes. You can't have a divine justice if you don't put humanity first.
So on that note, brother, we're going to ask you something that I would really love to know, because I think this is the thing. When you bring this call to your people around you and you say to them, humanity first, this is what I believe in. Now tell us this, and this is the last thing we're going to ask you. How would you describe Al-Sadiq to someone you're giving the dawah to? So
the best way I can describe Al-Sadiq, according to what I've seen so far, is he's like how do I describe it, man? He's like, I imagine a cloud. It's solid, but still changing at It looks solid, but it's changing as if, I don't know, put this, like you see him and you think to yourself, how can a man know these things? How can a man like me or you, who's flesh and blood, have this kind of knowledge? How can he be aware of these kind of things? And if you sit still and you contemplate on these things, it becomes clear that there's only one way. There's only one way he can be aware of these things, is that he is in direct contact with the same spirit that came to Adam, the same spirit that came to Jesus, that came to Moses, the same that spoke through the burning bush, the same spirit that came to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi when he was in the cave. He's in contact with that same, because that's the only way that this would be possible. That's the only way it would be possible. There is no other way it could be possible. Logic dictates that when a thing is repeatable, when a thing repeats itself, then how do you deny it?
Wow.
When a thing is
It's a pattern.
from, yes, what are we but pattern-seeking creatures? We are nothing but pattern-seeking creatures. And when you see that pattern, when you see this pattern unfolding through every society that has come before us, every society.
Yeah.
You look at the Greeks, they had, what's his name? Aristotle. And yeah, they had all these great thinkers, these philosophers among them. And when they didn't follow the philosophers, what happened to their society? It disappeared. It got swept under the mat. When the Romans came along, they were given Nabi Isa, they were given Jesus. They were given before Jesus. It was the Egyptians with Moses. When they didn't follow Moses, what happened to the Egyptian culture? The society, it was swept under the mat. The same goes for every culture, for every society, and we are no different. We are living in a society that has become unsustainable. In every way and form, it's become completely unsustainable. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do in this situation? He sends a messenger, he sends someone to speak to the people as a warner, to tell them, look here, you're going astray. You're going astray. Because God would never leave us alone. He loves us too much to leave us alone in this world, to misguide ourselves. We all want to blame the Shaitan for misguiding us. But the Shaitan isn't responsible for misguiding us. We are. Because the messengers come. They come to us and they say, look here, what you're doing is wrong. The way you're living is wrong. But what do we do? Say, no. We're not interested in what you have to say because, no, I'm living too comfortably. I have a beautiful house. I have these wonderful children, this car, this whatever riches. So I don't need that. I have this. That's fine.
God bless those words, brother. The truth you are speaking, it will reach the hearts of many. It is the truth that we are trying to reach every corner of the earth, and it really is something that's going to spread. Once again, I really want to thank you for allowing us to learn about you and your journey better, and the viewers out there. Thank you with all our hearts, and God bless you.
One more thing.
Please, brother.
There's just one more thing I wanted to give a testimony about before you go, if that's okay.
Yes.
It's about, in the beginning of this dawah, I believed on an intellectual level. I believed on a level of okay, he's telling the truth, so I believe the truth. But it wasn't on a spiritual level that I believed about this dawah. It was more in the head than in the heart. And through making istikhara, by asking God, look here, if this is the case, if this man is the truth, right? Show me that he is the truth. Show me that he is the truth. However you choose to show me, show me. And what happened was, the first thing that happened was that I actually had a dream. I had a dream, and in the dream I woke up in this like a mud house. There's no doors, no windows. and I'm in this mud house, and I wake up on this bed, and something tells me to go outside. I get up and I go outside, and I see that there's thousands of these houses, and it's built on this hill. There's thousands of these houses, and there's people everywhere walking around, but nobody is bothering anybody. Nobody's houses has doors or windows, and nobody's bothering each other. Everybody's just at peace. And this man joins me. Till this day, I don't know what his face looked like. And basically, he says, accent like my guide. He tells me, look here. He basically says, this is heaven. This is a part of heaven. And here, you're welcome here. There's a place for you here. And I'm going to show you around, and I'm going to show you what heaven is like. And he takes me to a tree. And at this tree, I see this beautiful tree. And I see that it's not just the one tree. All over the place, you find these trees. And it looks like a weeping willow, but with white leaves. And people go to the tree, and they speak or whatever, but then the tree gives them what they're looking for. Whatever it is, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's whatever it is. You ask the tree provides it for you. Right? Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yo, this would be a beautiful place to live, a nice place to live. And then the voice says to me, go to the stairs. Go to the stairs. And okay. And the next thing I know, I'm standing at the stairs going down the hill. And the voice says to me, go down. But I see on the other side of the hill, going down the stairs, if you look down, there's this giant pond. This giant pond of water. And the voice says to me, go down to the pond. And I go down the stairs and I come stand by the pond, and I see next to me there's a chair. There's a chair on one of these park benches. And the voice says to me, sit down. And I say, okay. And I sit down and I'm looking at the bench. I'm sitting on the bench looking at the water. But the water it's like all the colors of the spectrum is coming, reflecting off the water. And I'm sitting and I'm looking down at my feet. And all of a sudden, to my left, I see another set of feet. And I'm like, who's this? And this man says to me, do you know who I am? And I say, no. And as I try to lift my head, it feels as if I have this massive weight around my neck that's holding my head down. And the more I'm trying to lift my head, the more I can't. And I look at this, and this man asks me again, do you know who I am? And I say, okay, look, I'm not sure who you are, but... And he asks me again, do you know who I am? And I say, and I say, Father. And just there, I wake up.
Wow.
Just there, I wake up, I come out of this dream. Now, I'm not one to hold on to dreams. When I wake up, I forget what I dreamt about, but still till this day, as I speak to you, I can smell the air, I can see the tree, I can see the water, I can feel the seat I was sitting on. If you know what I mean, it's very
a beautiful testimony. That's a beautiful testimony. It sounds like a very true vision that you saw, and it's a depiction of what we are working towards, isn't it?
Yeah, and then just to put the cherry on the cake. Still, even after this, I was still, because I thought to myself, hey, it's just a dream, man. It's just a dream. Don't pay attention to, that voice of in your head. And then on my birthday, something happened that even I myself, till this moment, still can't believe happened. I was at work, not in a dream. This is not a dream. This is me at work. I'm awake. I'm at work. And where I work, you can see the houses, the homes of the people. You can see from where I work. It's just across from a mall. And as I'm standing there, I see this black figure, not a figure, but like a black ball, like this liquid rise up from the houses. And I thought to myself, wait, I noticed it and I was, what is this? I don't understand what this is, because the wind is coming from one direction, from from one direction, but this thing seems to be not reacting to the wind. It's just
Interesting.
hanging there in the air. And all of a sudden I see these little lights. They look like fairy lights.
Like orbs.
Floating, like orbs, floating around this black thing. They start circling it. And as they start circling it, it rises and rises and rises and just gone. It's just gone. This black thing is just gone.
That's fascinating.
And I'm looking at this and I tapped my somebody that was sitting at the door with me, and I tapped him and I said, look here, do you see what I'm seeing? And they come and they stand next to me and they say, yes, I see these little lights dancing in the sky. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not losing my mind. Someone else is witness. I have a witness. And I watch these lights the whole time, and they're dancing in the sky. There's about 12 of them. They're just dancing around in the sky, just as if they're happy with what they just did, what the mission they just accomplished. And they're dancing, and for the first 10 minutes, I don't tell anybody, because first of all, I feel like I'm in my mind. I'm seeing apparition. Then, afterwards, I'm standing in front of work again, and I look up at the sky and I see, you know, the midday when the sky is at its bluest, right?
Yeah.
You don't see stars that time of day. You might see the moon, but
I don't see stars.
you don't see any stars during that time of the day. And all of a sudden I see this bright star. It looks like Venus. When you see Venus in the evening at first, the evening star,
Yeah.
it looks like that in the sky, just sitting there. And these 12 lights dancing underneath it. And I have this one guy that works with me. He's very religious. He's a Christian, and he's very, very religious. So I call him and I point up at this and I tell him, look here, brother, do you see what I see? Can you see what I see? And we both standing there, and for a minute he looks at it and he says, brother, what are we looking at? And for some reason, I tell him, those are angels. Those are angels
I absolutely believe that.
dancing in the sky. And it wasn't just me or him, because as people passed by, I stopped like 12 people to come and join us.
And they all saw it.
Because they all saw the exact same thing. But it's as if it wasn't meant for them, because the moment more people started looking, they started slowing down.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden, they disappeared, yes. It just disappeared.
I can only say that, you know, like with the opening of the channel that's about to happen, I wouldn't be surprised that you will start, like all the people in Africa will start seeing more and more.
You will
and
witness more of that. Great point.
events.
Brother
Yeah.
Rizaah, it was
Such
a
a pleasure
brilliant
talking to you.
conversation that we've had with you. We've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sharing all of what you've shared
Thank
with
you.
us. Thank you.
Thank you.